This is the pound yen on the 240. I've just got involved with a little trend continuation trade because we are moving very directionally here. I'll actually go to the 5 range and show you this. Okay, here it is. We saw a pullback, lower close entry. I'm actually going to do it from the daily, so we'll do the higher time frame analysis. The market is moving lower, and I would expect the market to come down to test at least the closes of the candles on the daily, maybe even down to this psychological number 140-100 that has been tested multiple times. Let's go to the 240. Here on the 240 we've had a move lower, a pullback, and then we've broken out to the downside. Now I'm just going to throw a fib on and just see where that 127 comes in at. You can see it comes in just above that 141 psychological number, so we do have room here to come lower. If I do zoom out as well and look left, then you can see that that lower level, that 127, is just above it. Okay, just resumed the video. I had to pause it there. We've got a friend over and she was out using the pool and can't really be recording when they're coming back in. So breakout pattern here, that 127 comes in just above that psychological number. Let's drop down to the 60. You can see it got a nice, this may have been a wedge. I'm not too sure what this was, to be honest, because it didn't conform to my rules. Nevertheless, it has broken out, so I can treat it like a breakout pattern. And if we drop down again to the 15, not a great deal here. Drop to the 5, and you can see how directional we're moving. Very few pullbacks. I did have the chance to get involved here. I wish I took it, but I didn't. So still looking at the market coming lower. Let's go to the 5 range and look at where my entry was. And when the market's moving this directionally, then you can look for entries. For instance, this was an entry right here. You can see we violated the previous outside return. We had a lower close. We had another breakout pattern here. Here's another one. We broke to the downside, pulled back, and broke to the downside again. So I'm just going to go back to the 60 then and simply bring back on the orders. Sorry, I didn't tell you where my stop was. Let's go back. This was what I got involved with just here. Pullback, lower close. Stops go an 80 hour above the outside return, which is 5 pips. So if we go back to the 60, so let me get rid of that a second. And in terms of the reward to risk then, well, looking at 29 here for a reward of 75. And you know, this trade has the potential just to rally straight down in the next few hours. Of course, I would like that to happen. But there is a problem with using the 5 range like this. Although we have broken out of this pattern, we may not just continue straight down. We may stop, reverse, we may reverse all the way up to here, be stopped out, and then it continues lower. So there is a problem getting in halfway through the move like this, because it just may not continue all the way down. The safest place for stops are actually above here, maybe even a bit higher up here. But look at the reward to risk I've got. Not quite a 3 to 1, I've got a 2.5 to 1, something like that. The market is moving very directionally here, so we do have a good chance of the market continuing lower. So fingers crossed we can come back here for a 75 pip winner. And we're back for an update on this trade, and quite quickly here we have continued the momentum, the very directional move lower. I don't have a structure level here though that I can hide my stops behind, so right now we still have the same amount of risk on the table, but we are moving very directionally here. Let's drop to the 60, and you can see again just carrying that momentum, that bearish momentum. It's just falling and falling. Let me just go back to the 5 range. That's not right. Okay, back on the 5 range. So if we do get a little pullback here like this, a structure level and a new confirmed low, I will move this to break even. I won't actually just leave it an ATR above the highs. I want to give this thing room, so I'll just be able to move to break even, so at least this is a free trade. And we're back for the last update, and what a real shame this is. So I've been stopped out for break even. We were continuing that directional move. We made a new low, pulled back a new low, and we got 10 pips from target. My target was at 141.11. We came to 141.21, and we just simply pulled back. And just here I was taken out for break even. If we just go back to the 60, take a look at this. Just look at that. What a stinker. We carried on the directional move, but we ran out of steam. We went oversold at 8.2, very oversold, and we just simply ran out of steam. We pulled back. Looked like we may have continued it in the night, failed and pulled back again. So I would expect us to pull back now to maybe this area. I will then be looking for another shorting opportunity to carry on lower.